What's up, guys? Gonna try something a little different here and offer a little race commentary on this video. So if you enjoy this kind of video, drop a like, let me know in the comments. So here we go. We are at Tough Like RORR 2022 and got a second row start for this race, so not the best qualifying. I think I was in 11th or something. They do 10 to a row, so but you know, it's a long race, so we'll see how it goes here. Just gonna try to pace myself and pick some people off, and you know, get back up into the top 10 where I should be. But yeah, off the line here. Looks like I'm behind Jackson Davis and somebody else, so probably right around 3rd place. So as of now, I would be in 13th place overall. So, but yeah, again, it's a long race. So just gonna try to pace myself and cruise through this beginning part here, which is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And yeah, just kind of take my time, pace myself, and try to work myself up into the front row here. So looks like I'm behind Spencer Wilton here. So yeah, just kind of cruising through some single track, and again, just pacing myself. Kind of give you a rundown of the format here. It's basically a 2-lap race, roughly 12-mile course, and the second lap they throw in some tougher sections. Probably this year they probably put in, I want to say, like 8 extra sections on the second lap. So I knew the second lap was going to be a lot tougher, and so just going to try to make good time on this first lap and leave myself enough time to try to complete a second lap, which was my goal. Got a kind of a steep downhill here. This is still pretty early on, so I'm just kind of following Spencer here. I think he makes a small mistake up here, so just gonna kind of wait for my opportunity to pass and again try to catch up to that front row. So I think I'm in probably 12th right now. So yeah, just cruising. But again, we have 5 hours to complete the race, which means make 2 laps and back to the finish line within the 5 hours. So last year I did not finish the race within the 5 hours, which was leaving me pretty frustrated and you know, kind of upset with my performance last year, because over anything I really want to just cross the finish line at these tougher races. Like Tough Like RORR is known as probably one of the toughest races in the US at this point, and to not get a finisher's medal, it was pretty you know, I'm my own worst critic, so I really want to finish these races. So yeah, I know they even stepped it up from last year. However, they did make the first lap a bit easier to my knowledge, and then they really kind of throw it on you at you know, at the second lap. So we'll just kind of keep watching here and see how it goes. I think I kind of right here I was able to get around Spencer, so this will put me up in actually right now. So I think I'm in 11th right now, if my calculations are correct. So that's everybody on the second row. So I was able to get in front of everybody on the second row. So now I'm trying to work my way up to the front row, which is the top 10. So yeah, just kind of cruising along, trying to pace myself here. We haven't even hit anything remotely tough in the scheme of things. Yeah, throughout the race I stopped and started the GoPro to try to catch some of the better spots here. So I'll kind of start skipping through some stuff here in a bit and fast forward into some of the better sections here. So coming up here, I'm still in 11th place and kind of catch up to one of the first little tricky bits, and looks like that's David Knight right there, and I think Logan Balapew in front of him, and Danny Lewis might have been in the mix there. So all those guys are on the front row, so I know I'm making progress, so that's good. And then of course after this bit it's just more single track. So of course Niter is flying in the single track, so I lose him there for a bit, but we'll see how it goes a little ways up. So we're coming up on one of the first tricky sections, 209 or 409 or something like that, but basically just a big rock section, so you kind of know you're coming up on something when you start seeing all the people crowd around here. So pretty awesome crowd in this section though, but you know, in the scheme of things, this is one of the easier sections throughout the day, I think. So again, I see 2 or 3 people kind of up ahead of me here, so just trying to do my best to you know, catch them and try to make some passes. Looks like Tyler Soriano, a fellow Riehu rider, actually up here in front of me, so just gonna try to pick my way around him and try to get up in the groove here. And I hear some revving up ahead, so sounds like some people struggling, but we'll get around Tyler here and try to find a good line. These rocks are super slippery though, and all the cracks and crevices are kind of tough to see because they're filled with leaves. You know, there's only been what, like 9 riders through here so far. So, and we got a couple rain showers on and off throughout the weekend, so there's definitely some moisture lying around in these leaves and stuff. So like right there, you can tell I slipped on that rock pretty good. So there's kind of a lot of that. You have to stay up on top of the rocks, but you know, you also got to pick good rocks that you aren't going to slide off down into a crack or something. So but yeah, just gonna cruise through here and try to keep the heart rate under control, and see if I can catch up to Danny Lewis, I think is up there. I was coming up on another little rock section here in the trees. I'm struggling a bit to find my groove. It's still pretty early on, and that's something I've been trying to work on, is my first lap intensity. But yeah, it's really hard. I spike my heart rate and then I struggle to recover, but I think this is the little last rock section here, and we'll get into a little bit of single track. So I'm still chasing Danny Lewis here. I believe he's in 8th, so that would put me in 9th right now. But see, I kind of just crawled up this little bank here, and then right there, I'm just like spinning, and I wasn't quite jiving with my tire setup, and I was running a Kenda Ibex on this first lap, which is usually a pretty good tire for me, but I'm not sure, I haven't been digging it recently too much here, so you'll see at the pit stop, hopefully I captured it on camera, but I ended up changing tires after the first lap, and that really helped out a lot. So this whole first lap I kind of struggled to find my traction here, but still chasing Danny, so we'll see if I get around him here on video. So unfortunately I didn't capture my pass on Danny, but I passed him down in a section called Down in a Hole, which if you've raced this race you'll know it's pretty nasty and slippery, and yeah, I just made some good moves and slowly picked my way around him here. But yeah, like I said, I was kind of just turning the GoPro on and off, trying to save the battery to catch some of the better sections, and I just forgot to turn it on when I passed him. So, but yeah, this section here, I don't know what it's called, but this is probably roughly halfway through the lap, and it's just a nasty rocky side hill. You'll see that's probably the first time there I had to actually get off my bike and readjust it. But yeah, this is all on the side of a hill, and like kind of right down to my left there, it's like a quarry kind of. So we pretty much side hill this. This is coming up on a checkpoint here.
Good? Yeah, doing good.
Pretty sure my heart rate's at like 200 right now, but yeah, I'm just trying to be smooth, keep moving, you know, make smart choices. I got a long way to go at this point, so it's just, yeah, you just have to be smart and try to pace yourself. I made 2 passes, one on Danny, and then I also passed Logan Balapu, who was broke down, so I stopped quick and asked him if he needed any help. But he keeps levers under his seat, and I guess they came loose and jiggled down and shorted out the battery, so pretty unfortunate luck there. But yeah, I ended up grabbing 2 spots, so I think I'm in 7th right now. I know Farringer and Tim Apollo are up here somewhere, and I know I can you know, ride with those guys and pass them if it's tough enough. They're pretty fast in the single track, but when it's real technical like this, I tend to excel a little bit better. So again, I'm just trying to be patient and see if I can catch a glimpse of those guys. But yeah, right now we're heading back towards the pits slowly but surely, and we'll run into wrong side of heaven here in a bit. So coming up on another rocky bed here, I know I'm getting pretty close to wrong side of heaven, which is one of the better rock sections in the race. I really enjoy these kind of rocks. They're actually pretty grippy. The best way to describe them is they're like cemented together clumps of gravel, kind of. They're pretty, they got a good traction. I mean, of course, if it's wet and slimy, they're going to be slick, but these were pretty dry if you're able to stay up on top of them. So right now I'm kind of going down. I'm going to hook a left, and I'm still on this same ridge. I've been on this ridge for probably over 30 minutes now, and I'm finally going back down. I see some familiar trail here, so I know I'm probably going to start running into some fans here in a bit. And yeah, it's always a good feeling, because you know you're starting to get close back to the finish line or the pits, and it also it's cool to, you know, see all the spectators out here and get you hyped up and try to ace the section. So we'll see how this goes up here. spotted a QW5 t-shirt out in the crowd. Shout out to Glenn. Alright, so I was pretty excited with how I rode that whole section. Just right up my alley. Trials, rocks, grippy stuff. Awesome spectators, so that was pretty cool. I'll just kind of let you watch this next bit here and chime in here in a minute, but this was definitely my favorite section of the race.
Go Quinn!
This was actually kind of a sketchy little drop that I kind of really didn't realize it was a drop until I got on this rock here, but just kind of rolled off of it and tried to save a little bit of time. Getting towards the end of this rock section here. I think we go up and drop right back down and do one more leg over here. So I think I made it through that pretty well. I was pretty stoked on that whole section there. Pretty awesome ride in front of all the fans and stuff. Lots of cheers, so that was pretty cool. But kind of head over into this. Make a left-hander and go up another incline here. It's just all rock, so see, took a little breath there. My heart rate must have been spiking, but see what line I take here. I may have got hung up for a bit. I can't quite remember which way I went, but this was probably one of the trickier spots because there's not a great line, so I think I'll go right and then I'll readjust up here and just take a left and kind of go out the left here. So because this line on the right's a little bit, it's just a little bit slippery. I was like, I think I might save a little more energy going this way, even though it looks kind of flat on camera. You know how that goes. So this way I knew I would be able to nail it pretty clean and not get stuck. And at this point I'm trying to save energy, so even if I waste a few seconds going around something that I know I can clean versus something I might slip on and have to get off and push is pretty big at this point. So yeah, trying to stay on the bike and not have to get off and push is like I said, pretty big. So it's all about saving energy at this point and just keep pushing forward. So we're coming in on the home stretch here for lap 1, and just for good measure they throw in a little another new little tricky rock section kind of right before you hop on, some single track that takes you back towards the pits. But yeah, so right after the wrong side of heaven section that had all the spectators, at that point I thought I was pretty close to the pits, but there's a whole section called no quarter. And again, if anybody raced this year, you will know that section was quite miserable. It was down in a big, they have these big pits here. They're like, I don't know exactly what they're called, but they're something to do with coal mining, and they're really deep. So they hold a lot of moisture in down there, and it's basically just smooth, like flat rock and a lot of moisture. It's the complete opposite of the wrong side of heaven rocks with all the traction. So that took a long time. So I got out of there, and now I'm at this part and just went down a pretty steep downhill, and you can usually tell it's pretty gnarly on camera if I turn the bike off. So yeah, that was kind of steep, but looks like, trying to remember this section, looks like some more rocks before we get back to the pits here. Some good measure rocks, just in case you didn't have enough. But yeah, at this point, my first lap was, I'm approaching the 2-hour mark, which not great. I was hoping to do about an hour and 30 for my first, so that way I had 3.5 to finish the second lap, 3.5 hours. So that was kind of my goal. I really don't know what happened. I felt like my riding was good lap 1. I didn't really ever stop or really get stuck. I was just kind of, just like you're seeing here in the video, I'm just kind of picking my way through and trying to be efficient. But I guess I just didn't have high enough intensity to go faster through this stuff. You know, usually this is a race of survival, and I guess I just had it in my mind to you know, just try to survive, when really I should have been going faster that first lap. So anyway, yeah, just coming in here to the pit stop, and I'll leave the whole pit stop up so you can kind of hear what goes down. But I had yelled to my mechanic tire change at some point along the race, so he'll be back here with a fresh tire. It's an IRC JX8 with a soft worn in, I believe it's a Metis Moose. So this tire worked really good on lap 2, and I was happy we made the change. But yeah, you'll see he's ready here with the tire. So while he's doing that, I'll kind of pop off and get rehydrated. I gotta switch my drink pack, which is kind of a process because I have a hose that runs up through my jersey. It's a waist pack, so I have to unhook half the hose, take the waist pack off, plug the other hose in, and then put the other waist pack on. And so luckily my mom's there to help me do that. And then I'll also grab some nutrients squeeze packs, some energy packs, some pickle juice, some nutrition caps, pretty much as I can get in my body without making myself sick, because I know I'm in for it here for lap 2. So have a listen in on the pit stop.
What place am I in?
You're in the solid 8th place on
change the pack.
Yeah. Alright, so let's get your sock off in the front. Get your towel here.
Water.
Yeah, everything. Here's a hydrator for you right here.
Fill us right to the top.
Yeah.
You're about 5 minutes behind David Knight, and you got a good lead on, I think Jackson Davis is behind you, a good 10-minute lead on him. Here, put this around your waist.
Hold it up, it's way too tight. Why do these things keep getting tighter?
I don't know.
That's good.
I can help you if you need. How you doing? You doing okay?
We switched trackers, right?
Yes.
We switched? Okay. Because somebody down here didn't.
Oh,
They went
really?
out without it, so.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Was it Tim Apollo?
Yeah,
more
it sure
water?
was. So just a reminder.
Quincy, make sure you have water there.
Has the tracker changed?
Yeah, I changed the tracker. I put it in. Crocker's in there. You want a banana, baby food,
Like, do you have the energy?
an energy bar? No,
No, like the squeezes?
Yep, right there. Grab it. Here's your pills. You wanted some orange or pineapple?
Good? Or yeah.
So after rehydrating and a little bit of 38 special there at the pits, we're back at it. So I just went up through a lap 2 only section called Uncle Tom's Garage, I believe. So basically just a steep uphill rock section. I struggled a lot. I was just pushed and spun the whole time. So I'll save you the time there. So I'm at the top of the ridge, and we're still, this whole up and down is all lap 2 only. It's Uncle Tom's Garage, a section called Push Push, and then a section called Mother, and they're all real close right here. So right now I'm coming down, dropping down into a checkpoint up here, and then we're gonna go up a section called Push Push, and pretty much pushing the whole time from what I remember. So not the whole time, but it was a good section, but there's a little bit of pushing going on. So but I remember coming into this was pretty steep, and it's all loose, and the rocks move. There's a lot of leaves, so I'm definitely taking my time coming down this. I don't want to crash or slip or do something stupid down here, but man, I can smell the fumes of the guys in front of me here. I know they're not too far. I know it's Farringer and Timopolo is up there too. So I'm gonna try to hunt these guys down here, but get down this downhill first.
far are they?
I think Knight's like 20 now.
Jeez. Is Nick up there?
He passed family.
Knight came in at 157, I believe. Yeah. And you're at 216. So 17 minutes, 18 minutes. That's pretty damn good if you ask me. I'm happy.
Okay, this thing's. Bring it on the heartache. Just go down the way you came.
Win all. Hey. How you doing, buddy? Good job, man.
Good, good.
You're doing good. Keep breathing and moving forward.
Alright, so this is push, and there's a pretty sketchy entrance right here. You can either go to the arrow, which is like a skinny rock, so I went up there and did this. There's actually quite a large hole under me here, so I had to try to, yeah, kind of push off that, skip the hole, get in the groove here. You know, you can tell there's not been too many people up through here. Obviously there's still leaves and pine needles everywhere, so this is pretty steep. However, the rocks are nice and big, which make it easier because they aren't moving around and kind of flying out from underneath your tire. So I'm just gonna try to keep the wheel from spinning and just keep traction and get up here. It's the second you start spinning like I'm doing right now, it just churns up moisture, and moisture on these rocks is bad news. These are the slick rocks when they get wet, so but yeah, we'll pick our way up through here, and so once I get on top of this, there's another section right after called Mother, and it's kind of in the shade a bit more, so that one was slippery. Make our way up this.
Keep breathing, take your time. They probably told you about there, but
check out this move here. Weight back, big clutch pop. That's how you get out of spots you're stuck in, basically. I'll probably do it again here. Weight back, quick clutch pop, big burst of throttle, and then bring your weight forward. Pretty great move. There's not really a good word for it, but it stems from a trials move called the stuff. So you basically, you're wedged in a spot or you're stuck. You start with the weight way back. You can see I'm kind of, I think I might do it again here. Yeah, look, I'm waiting. So I'll start with my weight back over the rear tire, and then rev the engine up big, yeah. Weight forward, and that's how you get out of a crevice or a crack or something you're wedged into. Alright, so check this out. This might not look like much, but my brake is bent out and up quite a bit, and it's really hindering me because I keep touching it with my boot and it keeps like engaging the brake, and yeah, really bugging the crap out of me.
Okay. Yeah, down my back, please. Thanks.
They fucked up. Tim's over there puking on the other side of the hill right now.
All right, sweet.
Alright, so at this point, I'm dropping into a section called Mother, and it's pretty, this one was tough. It's kind of down in a little gully, and it's shaded, so that means lots of moisture. It doesn't look wet, but man, just the tiniest bit of moisture on these rocks makes it really difficult. So right here, so we have to go up, and then we'll go past this double tree sticking out, and then we have to go up basically straight up to the left there where it's extra steep and rocky. So there's a big hole right here that I'm pretty sure I fall into. So I'm gonna try to gap it, but didn't go too well. So this is energy right here that I don't have, basically. Deadlifting, walking around, picking the bike up. I mean, that's 15 seconds, doesn't look like much, but man, that's a lot of energy to do that. So but yeah, you can tell, I mean, there's not many tracks going through here yet, so let's I'll kind of walk you through how I get up this. And I remember specifically making a point to take my time, because this here is steep. So if you get off your line just a little bit and risk falling down 1 or 2 feet off your line, it's gonna waste so much energy trying to get back you know, on the line you want to go. But yeah, these rocks are just nasty, man. Like, it doesn't look like there's many holes and crevices and cracks, but the leaves are all filling them in. So I can promise you there's lots of things to get stuck in here, and they're all just like funky, sharp, weird formations, right? Not very rideable. So I went and walked this section previous to the race, and I picked this line out here on the left, which is pretty tricky down here where I'm starting at. But once you get up right where I'm stuck, once you get above that, it almost seems like the smarter line, and I believe that's where the riders ahead of me went. It's kind of hard to tell, but if you look over to the right there, the rocks are just like, there's not really a good line. So tricky bit here. I had to get off a couple times. And then once I get up this, you'll see above there's a pretty, there's a big rock with a ledge. And that was pretty hairy. But once you got up on that rock, you were almost home free. So I got about 8 feet of pretty tricky off camber loose rock right here. So after very carefully pushing my bike up on that big slab rock, as I mentioned earlier, this top bit, you're kind of just like zip right up to that arrow and take it right and you're up on a trail. So let's see here, I'll get my way back and big clutch pop and try to just kind of float up those loose rocks there. And right here, yep, I'm on a single track. So that's that was mother. So it was definitely a mother. We'll see. So I think I got a couple more sections on my GoPro up here. But yeah, that was definitely one of the trickier sections, I'd say. Like the garage, push, and mother definitely took a lot of energy. So we're gonna zigzag down and around to probably another one of the toughest sections. This is a pretty steep, hairy downhill right here. We've had to do this in a couple years past. But yeah, heading down to a section called Bringing on the Heart Break. And it's pretty much just a nasty rock garden that's within like a shaded area, so it's really slippery, even in the dry. Like, it was pretty dry out today, but the moisture that kind of stays in the cracks is crazy. So we'll skip ahead here to that section, and then I have to stop and do a repair, so we'll see if we have that on camera and go from there. Alright guys, so Unfortunately, I don't know what happened, but I missed the rest of that bringing on the heartbreak section, which I'm kind of bummed about, because right in there I caught Farringer and Timopolo, and I was pushing hard, like I had a second wind right there. I was pushing hard, and I was right on those guys' heels, and I did the section quite well. So we had to go through that big rock garden, and then basically up a steep like wash with smaller rocks, and yeah, I nailed it really well. However, when I got to the top, somebody in the crowd pointed out that my brake lever was about to fall off, and I was like, no, it's just bent. And then I took a closer look, and it was like it was hanging on by like one thread. So with the bolt, the nut on the back was probably had like one thread left. So I'll just give you a quick recap here. What basically went down after that. The guy in the crowd was actually ended up being Thorn Devlin, and luckily he had a little toolkit on him. I had tools in my bike, but I didn't want to get they're stuffed in the airbox and stuff, so it's kind of a pain in the butt. So he lended me some tools. I got the tools out. We tightened. Well, I tightened, I should say. He handed me the tools, but I tightened the brake lever, and that was probably about a 5-minute stop, which really killed my drive and my momentum that I was behind Farringer and Tim there. So yeah, unfortunate, but anyway, so after that section, we kind of dropped back down into some other stuff that we did on lap 1 that was really slippery. Sections like down in a hole and prison sex and stuff like that. But what you're watching here is a new section that they put in. I can't remember the name of it, but it was, as you can see, it's down in one of those big dragline holes with cliffs on both sides. So I actually enjoyed this. This was kind of fun, because you know, probably if you were coming through in 20th place, it wouldn't have been as fun because there would have been a lot more moisture. But there's decent grip down here, and I was cruising through this, like you know, just making good moves. So this is earlier on in the race, and I just threw it in here to give you a good look of what it looks like down in some of these big ditches. But anyway, so kind of to finish the recap off, after bringing on the heartbreak, there was still quite a bit of track left to go, and unfortunately I never ended up catching Nick, which I was kind of surprised about, because the race got pretty difficult, and I usually tend to do pretty good when the race is tough like that. But yeah, he must have just been on it, and kind of a bummer for sure. But basically, we had 5 hours to finish, and I got to the section known as Panama, which is one of my favorite sections, and they didn't run it on lap 1, so I didn't have any footage of it. But it's basically just huge rocks with lots of grip and lots of trials like maneuvers you have to do. So I got to that section, and there was a checkpoint, and the guy working the checkpoint was like, you got like 8 minutes left to finish, so I probably wouldn't go in there if I was you. And I was like, good idea, because I know it takes about 25 minutes to get all the way through it and out the other side. And then after that, we still had a section called Cody's Web, and then Wrong Side of Heaven again to do. So I came up probably about 45 minutes short of making it to the finish, which is definitely a bummer. You know, I had the goal of coming to this race and honestly just finishing before I even worried about what place I was in. I just wanted to make it to the finish, and So that was pretty, you know, pretty big bummer. I think only 4 guys ended up finishing. But yeah, I ended up 7th place overall. So, you know, not quite where we wanted to be for this, because this is one of my better races usually. But, you know, we'll take it. It was a tough race. It's a long weekend. You know, we have 2 qualifiers on Saturday before, and it just beats you down. I mean, this terrain is nasty. Like you can see here, I'm just pushing and spinning and wasting energy. So it's a tough race, and you know, I gotta tip my hat to the RORR crew. Just an awesome club, and those guys really they run a tight ship, and they put on a great race, and not to mention they put together an amazing purse for the pro riders, which I think should be at the top of every promoter's list. Alright guys, yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I'll leave you with this last clip here. This is a section called Camel Toe, and pretty cool little section. Pretty dry, pretty straightforward, some big rocks. But yeah, I'll leave you with this. This is the last bit of GoPro I captured before my camera died. So yeah, let me know how you guys liked this style of video with the commentary. You know, this one ended up being a little bit long, but there's a lot of good footage that I wanted to incorporate in this, and so whatever, you know, if you think it should be a little shorter, let me know. If you like it longer, if you like the commentary, or if you just want me to put up a full raw race footage, you know, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts. This is you know, just something I pretty much do for you guys, and I don't really get too much out of it in return. So you know, the shares and the likes and the comments and the subscribes, you know, it really means a lot, and I appreciate it. And yeah, so that's gonna do it. P7 for Tough Like RORR 2022, and thanks for watching, guys.